name is Ricardo, and I'm a street photographer from New York City. I was born in Mexico City. It's like another chaotic city for sure. You know, it's like 26 million people. Coming here wasn't such a big contrast as far as like the amount of people and the chaos and all of that. I've always lived in places where like extremely crowded, a lot of noise. My sister had a small like entry-level DSLR back in like 2008, 2009. We were not, like never really good at it. So like I picked it up one day just to like play around with, like it was a really nice sunset. So I was like, let me just check the camera and see what's up. And I guess you just like, I took some nice photos. You know, I thought they were nice back then. So I was like, you know what, let me look more into like what this camera can do, you know, like I thought it was camera makes the photo, but as you go, you learn that it's your eye. That was 2010 maybe, like the first time I started like actually caring for settings, you know, like and all of that. I got my own very first camera back in like 2016. It was a Nikon D610 if I'm not mistaken. It was, you know, like DSLR chunky with I think it was a 50 millimeter 1.8, very basic, you know, just exactly just one lens do it all. So yeah, definitely. I feel like stepping out of your comfort zone is always gonna make you better, you know, and you might not like your shots, but you keep doing it, you might find better methods, better ways. I usually go back to my shots and think, what should I do better, you know, like maybe I should have done this, or I should have stayed lower angle, or maybe wider angle, or compress the shot, whatever. A day of shooting for me, usually get home, you know, get something to eat, usually just pick one lens, you know, usually the 35. I'll go with that, unless I have something in mind. If I want to get closer up, just put the 85 or just bring the whole bag. But normally just one lens. Usually since I shoot a lot of rain or like, you know, harsh conditions, get like a raincoat, rain boots. Anytime I go out shooting, it's usually like, I don't know, man, like 20,000 steps like for the whole day. So I move around. But if I find like a specific spot, let's say we have some steam right now going on, like right here, I would just kind of like wait for the right character, you know? Sometimes I don't like too many people. I feel like I like to isolate subjects. If you have a good backdrop, good subjects, you know. Like for example, right now it's harsh lighting, but you can get like some like shadows and like lights, you know, a little more contrast.
It's just a whole other.
Play with some shadows, I mean, you know.
Yeah,
it's getting there. Yeah, let's say if you want to camp it out, find like someone with a hat or trench coats or something like that. You just have to like stay in one spot, and like if you really want that shot, just wait for it. You know?
Had a bad experience?
Of course, yeah, of course. I had an experience where this guy was like, "You're taking my photo," but he asked me like nicely, so I was like, "Yeah," you know, he's like, "Delete it right now." So I was like, "No problem, just go delete it and problem solved." I did. I did. I was like, all right, fine. You know, if someone is like bothered that much for you to have his photo, maybe it's not worth having it, you know. So there's more characters, so
you'll find someone.
Exactly. Midtown is interesting, but not Midtown.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. Lower East Side is fun. There's a lot of characters there too.
Like Friday.
Yeah, exactly. Financial District is nice. It depends on the season, you know, I think. You know what? The Diamond District is right there, so we might get some nice characters. I got into the street photography after I was shooting like landscapes, sunrises, sunsets, you know, buildings, Flatiron, the Empire State Building, you know, all your landmarks. You know, as you go, you kind of don't want to repeat the same thing over and over, even though there's amazing photographers. Like, I respect all their niches, you know, but I feel like street photographies, those moments you can't really replicate them. I started kind of getting into that maybe like 2017, 2018. The style that I picked up, it was mainly because I started seeing on Instagram like a lot of photos from Nick, you know, from like he was featured everywhere. Those dark colors and like the mysterious vibe, you know, like that kind of really drew my attention, and I started like shooting more nighttime, you know. I obviously had no idea how to do it. I just knew like, all right, well, you probably need like a wide aperture lens, you know, like 1.4, 1.8, maybe crank your ISO. You know, I've had this shot in my head for a long time, but I haven't been able to do it. Like sometimes, you know, people like stay at one like part of the stairs, like going down the subway, and everyone just kind of goes around them. So it would be cool if you could get like one steady person and everything else just moving around. Exactly. But it's so hard to do it. You gotta find the right moment, so. Cool. Just took one shot.
Oh wow, dude, that was fucking fast.
That was
I thought you
cool.
were gonna be there for a while.
You know, this thing about this camera, you can switch from crop mode to regular. So your 35 is a 50 if you crop it.
Yeah.
That guy's straight evil character from Batman.
Yeah, like the sideways hat.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
What's the story behind your Instagram? It's just like, I know it's like pretty like framed by Riks. You couldn't think of anything else.
It was.
Like, or just like you liked it.
It's not as creative as others, you know. Like
Mine is just my name. Trust me. But like,
I think I prefer if it's just my name, you know.
exactly.
I always go by Riks, you know. So that's like a high school nickname that I got. I used to do graffiti because I draw a little bit. I used to draw a lot more before. So it's just like my high school nickname, and then framed, you know, like different frames. Exactly. I was like around the piers, right, which is Gantry Plaza. I was trying to get a photo of the Empire State Building. That was still me shooting like landscape, but like forcing myself to go at nighttime. And then it got like foggy and rainy, which wasn't my element back then, which is my element now. So that specific moment, I started seeing things like more cinematic. The contrast, the reflection of colors. I wanted just a clean shot. And then I started seeing people with like umbrellas walking by, and that subject kind of like elevated the photo. That was like the breaking point for me to start doing more cinematic stuff, So this one is actually fun. Like I was just like literally just walking around and like looking up. I always have that like thing of always looking up to see if anything catches my eye. And I've noticed like the arrows kind of like match perfectly where I was standing with the Empire State Building. So I decided to take the shot, and I actually really liked it, like right off the camera. But you can't find this spot anymore. Like I think it's like covered with like pipes and like, you know, cables. Exactly. I really like this shot, but you can't really do it again. Like
well, that's what makes it.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was kind of like golden hour, like more or less. It was a little rainy like previously to that, so I was a little bummed out because I was looking for like straight up sun. But I really liked it. Like kind of stepped out of my comfort zone. And I was shooting nighttime for like maybe over a year already. So this was one of the first shots I ventured out in like during daytime. There's motion. There's still like some golden tones from like the sunset. I feel like it came together pretty well.
That's in Flushing.
That's Flushing. That's right. Yeah.